Sonic characters. There were a lot of Sonic characters introduced for the comics, for the TV shows, and of course the games for nearly 27 years now. And yet there's only gonna be 15 characters playable in Team Sonic Racing. Anyways, with tons of Sonic characters introduced into Sonic lore, there is bound to be some characters that people will forget about. Hey guys, it's me, Super Rocket, and today we're gonna be talking about a group of Sonic characters that nobody really talks about. And those characters are the Animal Buddies. You may be wondering why I'm talking about the Animal Buddies even though there isn't really that much to talk about them. They're just the animals that you save once you destroy a Batnik. Well, that is the case. That is all there is in the Japanese version. If you don't know, when Sonic first came to the scene in the 90s, they made two separate versions of him, one for the Americans and one for the Japanese. They had different art and they had different stories. And the story in the Western version, instead of just having the Animal Buddies to be just the animals that you save and that's it, they actually made an actual character with each kind of the Animal Buddies. In total, there were 7 Animal Buddies that have this kind of idea. Yeah, 7. How surprising. There's Johnny Lightfoot, which is the bunny, and Porky Lewis, which is the pig. And those two names sound familiar to you, that's because they're actually from Sonic the Comic, aka Fleetway Comics. And oh yeah, by the way, they actually turned 20 this year, so yeah, consider this a belated gift to you, Sonic the Comic, I guess. Anyway, back to the Animal Buddies. There are also some lesser known ones like the Walrus, which is named Joe Sushi, and then there is Chirps, which is the chicken, and Tux, which is the penguin. For Chirps, I always found it weird that that is his name. Compared to the other ones, that feels a bit generic in my opinion. So yeah, Joe Sushi is alright. I really like that the penguin is called Tux because in the artwork it's specified that he actually has a tie, and since his color scheme is like black and white, it looks like he's actually wearing a tuxedo. It's actually really nice it's a really nice fun idea to decide for the penguin, so I actually like it. And then we go to the last two, which some people actually are familiar with. First of all, let's start with the bird, which is called Flicky the Bluebird. Yeah, before Sonic 3D Blast, where they actually made Flicky the name of the species, it was actually just a name for one of the bluebirds, Flicky the Bluebird. So yeah. And finally is the squirrel, and a lot of people are familiar with the name of the squirrel, and the squirrel's name is actually Sally Acorn. Yes, the same Sally Acorn from the TV show and the comics. So yeah, I hear a lot of people say that every time Sally Acorn has been brought up, they always say from the TV show and from the comics, but nobody says from Sonic 1, even though that's actually the first time we actually see Sally Acorn is in Sonic 1. Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's actually interesting that Sally Acorn first debuted in the first Sonic game, and at least in the American version, at least in the Japanese version, they changed the name to Ricky. I believe they call it. So yeah, it's pretty interesting that they actually brought at least one of the Animal Buddies and make it into a full-fledged character for the TV show and comics. So yeah, and actually that also is going to be the case for all of the Animal Buddies. You see, I actually found this early promotional art. I think it actually appeared in Sonic the Comic. I think it's an early promotional art of the Sonic Sadie cartoon, and in that art, they actually show all of the Animal Buddies, including Sally Acorn, of course. So yeah, they got Johnny Lightfoot, they got Porky Lewis, they got Joe Sushi, they got Chirps, they got Tux, and Flicky. They're all there. They were all supposed to be in the Sonic Sadie cartoon, but instead they just kept Sally and make everybody else just a different character, an original character for the show. So yeah, it's pretty interesting that they were actually gonna bring all the Animal Buddies into the Sadie cartoon. And seeing the early promotional art, they kind of look a bit weird. If you can see in the picture I'm showing right now on screen, yeah, you can kind of see why I'm going with this, why I say it's weird. Especially with Joe Sushi here. I like the idea of him being a bit more muscular than we first see him in Sonic 1. It'd be so fun to see when Sonic came back to South Island and then he saw Joe Sushi so big and large. It'd be funny to see that. But then the look of the character itself doesn't even look like a walrus. I'm sure it has the mustache, like it does have something that looks like represents the mustache, like in the original design of him. But it looks so weird because it has a red head for some reason. I have no idea why that's the case. Is there a walrus that has a red head? I'm not really sure. It looks a bit weird. And for the others, there's some episodes second of being a bit weird because for Johnny Lightfoot, he looks similar. He has the same jacket as he has in the Sonic the Comic, but it looks weird with the glasses, and he looks a bit thick, but not like fat. But you know, you can see it's a bit like this instead of tall. Then Porker Lewis looks a bit weird. I'm so used to Sonic the Comic's version of Porker Lewis. Here, he in the comics, he's kind of like a scaredy cat in some ways. Not really, but yeah. But here, he kind of looks a bit weird. He looks like he's trying to be cool. He does have the jacket from the Sonic comic, but then he has the glasses on, and it looks more white than pink, which is also a bit weird. Sally Akon, I guess it's alright. It's yellow for some reason. I have no idea why. Flicky looks interesting. He looks like a fun character to play as well as Tux. He looks like one of those secret agents. Chirps in there, I'm not really sure what they're gonna do with Chirps. It looks so small. He's even smaller than Chirps. I don't understand what they're gonna do with Chirps. But for the others, yeah, I can see what they're going with. But it does kind of look wacky at the time, so I understand why they decide to make their own characters instead. But man, I was really interested to see how this would play out and how they were gonna use these animal buddies together in the Sonic Side EM cartoon. So yeah. So with that said, alright guys and gals, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I was really interested to going into this topic. I wanted to do this for a while now, and I'm glad I managed to do it. So yeah, next up on the channel, I have no idea. I'm not really sure what to do right now. I'm not planning to do any reviews anytime soon, so I'm not sure what's gonna happen now. So stay tuned first. So until then, rock it on! There have been tons of Sonic characters introduced in the movies. What movies? There's no movies. What movies haven't? Wait.